well, you probably wouldn't have clicked on this video if you didn't know what we were talking about. Though you, but yeah, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. So this is the 7th installment in the live-action Transformers film series. Obviously, it's a different iteration of it, but directed by Steven Caple Jr., who is known for his directing Creed 2. It stars Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, Anthony Ramos as Noah Diaz, Pete Davidson as Mirage, Lisa, I always say her name wrong, Lisa Koshy as RC, and Dominique Fishback as Elena Wallace. So
and don't forget Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal.
Yep. And then, so basically, this film was set in 1994, offering a new time period for the story. It introduces a new breed of Transformers known as Beast, inspired from the ancient myths and legends. The plot revolves around a threat that endangers both Earth and Cybertron. The Autobots, led by Optimus Prime, team up with human allies to face a formidable enemy. The film takes place in locations such as New York City and incorporates the ancient Mayan civilization. Epic battles, thrilling chases, and action scenes. They gave us some Michael Bay type action scenes.
Yeah,
and
a lot of explosions.
Yeah,
But
man.
I feel like in this Transformers, you actually got to see more of the action take place versus the previous Transformers, where it's just explosion. I'm like, bro, I can't take all, like, your brain can't take all that action and all those explosions, all that fire at once. But in this Transformers, you actually get to see them battle it out, and you get to see what actually happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, when you're watching a Michael Bay film, you kind of
something's gonna blow up.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just gave our initial thoughts, and we just went over the spoiler-free synopsis. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, we're going to give you a couple seconds to click off of this video because we're now going to enter spoiler territory.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro. So, what were your thoughts on the visuals and action sequences as a whole?
Okay, so a couple of things that I had an issue with as far as like the visuals is as soon as Optimus Primal, Rhinox, and Cheetor were maximized, which was an epic moment in the movie. I didn't like the fact that they didn't use their original weapons from the show. So Cheetor, instead of having that like fucking spear thing, he's actually supposed to have a gun. Rhinox is supposed to have a gun, and Optimus Prime was actually supposed to have like two rocket launchers on his shoulders, and then he's supposed to have swords as well. So those are kind of the visuals I was kind of like upset with, and then the color scheming of Optimus Primal armor when as soon as he maximized, I was like, that's not the way it's supposed to be. But as far as like other visuals, I enjoyed like what they did as far as like the action sequences, different things when they were moving through like the tunnels and shit like that. Battle scenes. Yeah, I enjoyed that stuff. What about you?
Yeah, I think as far as the CGI, I think was really good. But it should be because they've been making these movies since 2007, so they have like a lot to base it off of. The production quality was pretty good for the most part, in my opinion. As far as the weapons, I know like they do. Cheetor, he's one of my favorites. He had a gun, but I think he did have like I don't know if it was a spear, but he did have something in the show that he used. I don't know if it was the same thing, but he had something like a pole or spear. I don't know. I don't know if it was.
You might be right. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, now I think about it, that he was able to connect it and if I can use it, yeah, you might actually be right.
But I think we'll get into this later, a little bit later. Actually, pretty soon. I think they didn't want the Maximals to outshine the Autobots. In this film, even though it's called The Rise of the Beast, which was weird, but the action sequences, I really enjoyed the battle at the museum, and I enjoyed the final battle. Those are the two that stood out to me. Other than that, I know they had a couple more. Oh, they one battle in Peru before the big battle. But yeah, to me, the action sequences at the museum and then the final battle scene were really good, and I was really excited. It made me feel like a little kid again watching it. Um, and realism, I don't look for realism when I'm watching these movies.
You really can't. You really can't look for it
Yeah,
to be real because it obviously is all
yeah,
fantasy based.
yeah. Some people were talking about realism. I'm like, it's a freaking movie about aliens that look like cars and animals. Like, what can
What
be
do you
real about
expect?
this?
Realism.
Yeah, bro. The hell? But yeah, man. So we talked about the Maximals not being, well, I'm not gonna say they're not gonna be a key to the story, but they weren't the main focus of the story. What were your thoughts for the characters and performances?
So before I talk about the characters and performance, the other thing that kind of upset me was I was gonna ask it to upset you too. The fact that they didn't have the Predacons in
Yeah, I
this
was getting to
movie.
that. Yeah, that was gonna be my next point in this section. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
me thinking about it is like it wouldn't have made sense to have the Predacons in the movie, but maybe
Hmm.
it might have. It might have. They could have been obviously the Maximals and Predacons fought way when they got on the whatever planet Earth when they were on the
Hmm.
planet, and they battled for so long, and then they probably went their separate ways or whatever. But I don't know why the Predacons weren't in this movie. Instead, they had the Terracons,
Hmm.
whatever that is. I don't know. I guess
Terracons
it's
are like similar to the Decepticons.
yeah, but I guess they directly serve Unicron.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like, I'm now understanding that certain things from the show, if they had put it in this movie, it wouldn't have made sense. So I'm kind of like scaling back in my judgment of how this movie went. I'm just as far as like pulling things from the movie and making it as authentic as possible. So I'm kind of like scaling back. I'm like, all right, well, it wouldn't have made sense. So I guess that I can just kind of just reserve my opinions and just enjoy the movie for what it is. But
Yeah, let's hope the Maximals and Predacons get their own spin-off or their own movie. Like, I would love to see that, but we'll see.
no, exactly. No, you're right.
Did any of the characters stand out to you?
As far as like either the Transformer characters or the actual actors.
Just just any character that, like, any characters in the movie that kind of like, okay, they did a really good job, or this character was trash.
Um, I did like Optimus Primal, but I'm biased, so I always like Optimus Primal. I like how he
Hmm.
was. He wasn't like he was. So the Optimus Primal from this movie, I could see some similarities from this Optimus Primal and the Optimus Primal from the actual show from back in Beast Wars days. I could see
Hmm.
some similarities. How he's that leader that as far as like he's like a humble leader. He's not like going crazy to start like fighting everybody. He's like, no, we have to make a plan. We have to like do this. You can see he's caring. There's a soft side to him as well, especially when he made like that basically the connection with the humans
Hmm.
and the those humans that were in Peru in the mountains or whatever. So you could see like a different side of the Maximals when you kind of like draw those parallels. So that's what I
Hmm.
enjoyed about that character.
Um, one thing to piggyback off what you said, and Optimus Primal said it in the movie. He said, "This is not the Optimus Prime I remember or that I heard about." Basically, because Optimus is going through growing pains in the
Hmm.
movie, Optimus Prime. He's he feels bad because he feels like it's his fault he got his people stuck on Earth. And see, he's not the Optimus Prime that we're familiar with. Basically, he hasn't got to that point yet, and that's the because that Optimus Primal said, "I we are your past and your future," and he's named after him. That's why I found that line very interesting, and they show a younger Optimus of what he's basically what we know he's going to end up being. That
Hmm.
character that he cares about the humans, he cares about his people. I mean, he cares about the Autobots. He cares about, but it kind of made this movie kind of had that character development where he started off a little bit of kind of selfish at the beginning, and didn't want to work with the humans. To him, literally. being saved by a human and changing his perspective. So we're seeing that growth in Optimus that we've never seen before because he's always already been that established character.
Exactly. And I think, like you were explaining to me, like earlier in the week, you were saying that since they did the Bumblebee movie, they were going to use it as like a launching point to like do like a whole reboot for the series. Well, I guess like a soft reboot. I don't know if they're gonna
Yeah.
do like a whole nother
Mm-hmm.
line of more Transformers movies, but I could be wrong. But they were using
Yeah.
this as like a continuation from the Bumblebee movie to kind of go
Mm-hmm.
forward in time. Like first they did the 80s, now they're in the 90s, and to kind of like show that backstory of like when where the Autobots were on Earth and kind of how they got to the point to where they started with the movie that came out. I think it was like a 2006, 2007
Mm-hmm.
when they
2007.
first met Sam Witwicky in the first
Yep.
Transformers and how
Yeah, I
they
think they're trying to.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I'm saying,
No,
I think they're trying to do away with the Michael Bay stuff,
yeah.
and build something like it may be like an alternate reality. They might not get rid of everything, but it feels like Bumblebee would like the starting point to the new Transformers. What they're trying to do right now, which
Mm-hmm.
have been they for me personally, they've been 2 for 2 because before Bumblebee, the only in my opinion, I really enjoyed the original Transformers. The other ones are just kind of crazy like all over the place. I mean, I like Transformers movies in general because I'm just a huge fan of
Yeah.
Transformers. But with the Bumblebee movie and this movie, I feel like they have a good foundation to continue to build on what they started with this new iteration.
Bro, you just brought something to my mind. The fact that pretty much every Transformers movie that, from the one that Michael Bay first directed moving forward, it all has like the same like plot. Like
Hmm.
they're Transformers come, Autobots, they have to go fight the Decepticons or whatever, and they're always trying to find some type of ancient artifact, whether it be that cube that was in the first movie, or some type of special orb or some shit. I don't know. It's always some type of special thing they're trying to hunt down. That way it could like, oh, this will unlock the powers of the universe or something like that. It's always that. And it's like, yeah, it kind
Hmm.
of got like redundant and like boring. They needed something
Hmm.
new, something fresh.
Yeah, that's why Bumblebee was so dope. It was grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But another character that stood out to me, I really like Mirage. Pete
Mm-hmm.
Davidson, I think he did a really good job with that character. Brought some life to it because some of the lines were kind of cheesy, and you could tell he kind of pointed that out, and they kept it in the script. I mean, they kept it in the movie, like he was basically saying, "Hey, that line was stupid," but I'm gonna put my own flair on it. But I like his character, and I like the connection he had with Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked Elena as well, but I feel like her character she did good with what she had, but her character was basically to literally drive the plot.
Yep. No, no,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
because
but
if it wasn't for her, they would have never found that key
mhm.
or the part of the key inside that little sculpture. So yeah,
Yeah, bro. But overall, I like the development of Noah, how he was in it for him, Optimus was in it for his people, and at the end, they're fighting for each other and
yep,
showing why the Autobots and the humans need to have a strong relationship because I'm glad what Optimus Primal showed Optimus. We've had a great relationship with these people for hundreds of years. And they've been nothing but good to us. And I think that opened the eyes for Optimus Prime. And then when Noah wanted to destroy the key, he kind of and then Optimus Prime was talking to him. He said we could find another way. Um, and Noah was like, okay, he let go, he didn't destroy it. So it showed that I like that development of those characters. They're basically mirroring each other, in it for their people or in it for themselves, and then at the end, they literally save each other's life. So,
kind of like the big brother figure. They're just trying to make sure they
mm,
take care of their family, take care of like honestly, like the true leaders. Because you see, like the parallels, like you said, between Optimus and Noah, and the fact that they're both soldiers.
mhm,
They've been in combat. They've both been fighting for their homes, fighting
yep,
for their comrades, fighting for whatever thing they have to fight for as far as like whatever goals they need to accomplish. they both know war. So they're honestly more alike than they know. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it was interesting to see those two characters come together in the end to fight for a common goal and purpose. And when they
Mm-hmm.
finally teamed up, that's when you see the actual, okay, now this plot is moving forward to where it needs to
Mm-hmm.
be. Now it's making sense.
Yep. And now they could win because remember, Optimus tried to take on I forgot his name. When he tried to take him on by himself, he got destroyed. But
Scourge, yeah.
when he took on Scourge by himself, he got destroyed. But when he was fighting for something or
Yeah, well,
fighting along with people and for something, it gave him the power or the strength to literally rip the dude head out. Like that was very primal of him.
yep.
Um, what was your as far as the story and plot? What did you think of like things such as the pacing or the strengths of the film, the weaknesses of the film, and any thing that surprised you or any twist that came out of nowhere that you were like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Mm. So I mean, like I said, this one felt like kind of like a traditional Transformers movie where they have to go find something that's way off somewhere, find some type of key or some type of like orb or treasure or whatever it is. It kind
Mm-hmm.
of felt like because that's exactly what we're doing in this one. As
The
far as like
MacGuffin.
anything,
I was saying the MacGuffin effect.
yeah. Uh, as far as like anything surprising me, uh, no, it felt this one pretty much felt on par. I kind of felt like the Maximals really weren't going to be in it that much. One thing that it always makes me laugh is the fact that when Optimus is like, "Oh, calling all Autobots," like
Mm-hmm.
literally only like 4 people show up. I'm like, why do you put out like this big spread out like APB for like all these Autobots that come all over from the world? And it's only like literally like 3 people. Like, oh, I guess this must be the regional Autobots or some shit. It's like
Yeah, they
only
had
three
more
people.
auto. They had more, but I guess, yeah, those were the ones that can get there in time. But yeah, that is pretty funny. Um, the only twist. Oh, excuse me. For me, the only twist obviously came at the end. We already
Yeah.
gave the people the spoiler alert, so the GI Joe thing. Um, that's going to be interesting. I think we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Yeah, the next topic
Yeah.
actually. But that was surprising as far as the structure and pacing. It was paced decently. Like I said, some parts were really slow. Um, then I think they could have like sped up a little bit, but some of the slower parts were important, so I can't knock all of it. Any weaknesses of the film? I think the biggest weakness to me was name it the Rise of the Beast and
Yeah.
the spotlight still being on the Autobots makes sense because that's the characters we are familiar with, the characters we've been following since 2007. Even though this may be a different iteration, those are the characters we're familiar with, and they're just introducing the Maximals. But I feel like this movie would have been a lot better if we had a Maxim like a Beast Wars type movie first, and then these characters came together. But every cinematic universe is trying to do something different. Like I kind of like I think I'm not going to call this a mistake because I think they did it better than the original Justice League, the first
Hmm.
Justice League that came out, not the Snyder edition, where everything just felt rushed. I think they did a better job with this than DC did with that. But at the same time, it would have been nice to get the Beast Wars characters introduced first
I
and
feel
like
like they're gonna come out with more Beast War characters and more, and then they're finally gonna introduce the Predacons as well.
mhm,
Because that's you have to. It
mhm,
only makes sense because the Maximals were fighting somebody. You got to have that in the story. And we're just
yeah,
fighting whoever, they were obviously there was the Terracons, but that's not what the original story had. It was the Predacons
mhm,
that they were fighting. And I,
mhm,
I, I honestly feel like they're gonna bring out some pivotal because they're gonna have some characters that are kind of like were key in the show, and I think those are the characters that they're gonna put in as far as like when they finally do bring the Predacons, they're gonna have
yeah.
Megatron,
Rat
the
Trap, gotta
Rat
have Rat
Trap,
Trap.
Megatron,
Yeah,
Scorponox, freaking I can't
it's
remember
so
the
many, bro.
the
It's a lot
Griff,
at this.
the Griffin's
Yeah.
name, the Tarantula's
It's,
name, the Black Widow's name, the Pterodactyl's
it's a
name.
lot, bro. It's a lot.
Yeah, there was a tiger in there as well. Yeah,
Hmm.
man, there was a lot.
So yeah, like as far as the story and plot, like I think we both agree. I wanted to see more of the Maximals. Like what the hell? We've been waiting forever for something like this to come out, man. Like forever,
It felt like we only got to see him for like 10 seconds. Another thing that was kind of
dude.
disappointing to me is that what's his name? Optimus Primal didn't say his catchphrase.
I
Yeah,
didn't even notice that.
yeah, he didn't say that's just Prime. I'm like, damn. But
And bro, the Rhino didn't even say anything the entire movie. You notice that? He didn't say shit.
that's what,
Cheetor had a few lines, but the Rhino didn't say shit.
that's the thing. Cheeto would really be talking. He be saying stuff. He was in the show. He was kind of like flat. He was like a high head in a way.
Mm-hmm.
He got a flashy high. And
It's
then
kind of similar
Rhinox.
to Mirage, if you're being
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. Kind of similar to Mirage, but what was I gonna say? Rhinox. So the way he would transform in the show would be kind of weird too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would roar, then transform, and then he would like do this weird like if he was off balance step thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Um,
He didn't say shit.
I didn't say a goddamn thing.
That's crazy. And he had a voice actor. They had somebody was casted as his voice, bro. That's crazy. He didn't say shit. I could have did that job. You know, throw me a paycheck. I'll do it. I'll go in the studio and not say nothing. Pay me for it. Yeah.
I'll do his voice. I'll just Rhinox. I don't know.
Oh man, who was dude? That's wild. Because I swear they casted somebody as Rhinox. Yeah, David Sebelova, whatever. He had somebody casted to play him, and they didn't say shit. That's crazy.
Another thing is, I'm thinking. I know I was complaining about Rat Trap not being it. Rat Trap wouldn't have made sense to be in this movie because you already
Yeah,
have Pete Davidson's character making all the jokes and smart remarks.
that
If Rat Trap
is
would, it would
true.
kind of like cancel it out and it made it weird. I'm like, man,
That
both
is
these
true.
niggas can't be making these jokes. Yeah, someone got to shut the hell up.
That is true. That is. I didn't think about that. Rat Trap is like you were saying. It's kind of like Rocket the Raccoon, but like
Just keep talking. Shut up.
yeah. Yeah, bro. So what we touched on a little bit in the last topic, but the Transformer universe, uh like explain how Rise of the Beast fits into the broader Transformer universe.
You want me to explain it?
Or in your opinion.
Well, so Rise of the Beast. Well, what I think of as Beast Wars. It comes as far as like the Maximals and the Predacons are descendants of the Autobots and the Decepticons. So after all the big war happened on Cybertron, then we bring in the Maximals and they crash land on planet Earth. Planet Earth at the time is energon rich, which is another thing that they brought up in this movie. They talk about
Mm-hmm.
energon and how they're in
Mm-hmm.
Peru in that one valley or whatever near those sculptures or whatever the fuck they were. They had all
Mm-hmm.
that energon, and that's something that they don't talk about in any of the movies prior. But they
Mm-hmm.
talk about throughout the show in Beast Wars is energon, and energon is one of the more. It's like a power source for those
Yeah.
yeah, for them, the Autobots, the Maximals, all of them. Yeah, and it's something that
Yeah.
they really try to fight for. That's what the war is for, kind of the energon. Um, but as far as like the story goes, I feel like there's going to be a lot more. I feel like there's going to be
It
another.
has to be.
Yeah, there
It
has to
has to
be.
be. And it can't just stop like this. It can't just end here. You bring the Maximals into it and just no more. Never mind. They can't. They better not do that shit, bro. But yeah, like I said, if Bumblebee was a soft reboot, I think what Rise of the Beast has done for this universe is give us a broader expansion. So there are more than just the Autobots and Decepticons. There's a lot more to the story than just those two groups of aliens.
Oh,
And go ahead.
I was going to say, Unicron's going to return. By the way,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Unicron's going to return because we didn't get it. We didn't get a chance to see him transform. Unicron's not just in that form. He's He
Mm-hmm.
turns into a transformer. He's fucking huge.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna be back because
Yeah, he's gonna be
Optimus Prime said, "Let him come." Like when he
yeah.
says that, they gonna come back. So, yeah, I think Rise of the Beast is going to continue. Hopefully, rather it's a prequel or a sequel. I want to see more of the Beast. I'm actually interested. The GI Joe thing is so they have a comic. They had a comic series. So they could probably try to bring that back to life because GI Joe is supposed to be rebooting. And maybe this is a way to bring it in. I I like GI Joe as a kid. The show, like I used to watch the show, had the toys, but I prefer Transformers. Um, we'll see. I don't know how I feel about them bringing the GI Joes into the universe, but would it really be that much different than having the military in the universe? I mean, like they had with all the previous Transformers films with the military involved. Would it be that much different?
I think they brought in GI Joe. They're trying to bring in GI Joe because GI Joe is owned by Hasbro, and so is Transformers. So
Yep,
they're gonna try to do like some type of Hasbro universe or something like that.
probably.
I mean, the last two GI Joe movies weren't really that good. The first one, I mean, the first live action one, I was like, all right, this isn't bad. The second one, I really didn't get to see. And then they had a recent GI, not really a GI Joe
Yeah,
movie, but the movie about Snake Eyes.
2021 did terrible.
Yeah,
I didn't see it, but I know it. They was like,
I didn't see
yeah,
it either.
reboot. They announced the reboot right after this shit. Like, yeah, we go redo this shit. Yeah, maybe we fucked up. Hasbro
Yeah.
Cinematic Universe, HBCU. That's what they gonna call it.
HBCU.
They can't do that.
They can't. No,
That's
they cannot.
wild.
Oh, there are gonna be some
Yeah.
people protesting. Oh, they're gonna be. They're gonna be at the. They're gonna be at that company, at that factory, protesting those toys. Oh, we
It's gonna
gotta
get
stop.
real, bro. Hasbro Cinematic Universe, HBCU.
They're gonna be like,
That's
man, black people can't have nothing.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, Yeah, overall, I think the Rise of the Beast is going to expand obviously the overall universe and show how big the actual Transformer universe is because there's a lot at the comics,
Bro,
the TV shows. It's a lot to Transformers.
like I said,
Um,
the last battle, the last war, whatever, is gonna happen on Cybertron.
it has to.
Like I said, because
It has
we've
to
heard
eventually.
all of these cool. Oh, we came from Cybertron. There was a war, battle, whatever. Whether it be a prequel or the final Transformers war, battle, whatever, it's gonna happen. It's gonna end it all on Cybertron.
And Bumblebee at the beginning of Bumblebee, they were at Cybertron in Cybertron fighting,
Yes.
and Optimus sent Bumblebee away. So we got a glimpse of it. I mean, dude, it's crazy because it reminded me of the cartoon, the movie. That came out, we used to watch growing up. The Transformers movie, it looked just like that, just real. I was like, that's pretty amazing. Um, what are the themes? What are the themes and messages that, in your opinion, for this movie throughout the film, like the
Um,
themes and
don't try to shoulder the burdens of life by yourself. Like you always have
yeah,
someone that can help you. You always have you always have someone like a family member, friend that you can count on in order to help you out. You don't have to really go it alone. You don't have to blame. Learn how to forgive yourself. That's one of the first things you got to do if you're trying to move on from something that happened in your past. You got to learn how to forgive yourself. You can't just hold
yeah,
on to mistakes or certain things you did and expect to like move on and live a happy life. You have to learn how to forgive yourself, learn what you did wrong, and just push on and just keep doing what you think is right and kind of like just make a better way.
yeah, bro. I agree. To piggyback off your point, yeah, I think it's friendship, um, and judgment.
Hmm.
Friendship and judgment. Noah and Optimus, like we talked about before, judging each other the whole time, just didn't like each other for the same reasons. Like Noah didn't like Optimus for the same reason why Optimus didn't like Noah. But at the end of the day, I think character like Mirage showed Optimus that we could be friends with these humans. They are not all people are bad. Just like we have bad Transformers, they have bad humans. But just like we have good Transformers, they have good humans. Um,
Exactly.
so in so the friendship and judgment for me are my personal thoughts on the themes throughout the movie.
But I mean that's pretty much my take on it. Like I said, I enjoyed watching it. It'd been a while since I've seen a Transformers movie in theaters. Um, what I wish they could have did better. Like we already talked about bringing more of the Maximals, but we'll get it. We'll get it soon. Well, not soon,
Yeah,
but we'll
bro.
get it one day.
Yeah, man. We already talked about the Beast characters. The only two that had a chance to stand out was Optimus Primal and uh what the hell was that? Air Razor. That's what she's called.
Yeah,
Those are the only two that
those are
got a
the
chance.
only ones that were doing the talking.
Air Razor was a beast, bro. Like when she came through, but I was kind of mad that she died, bro. Like, damn.
I may be crazy, but I don't remember Air Razor from the show.
No, I don't think hold on. Let me see. I think it was a different animal. Hold on. Maybe I'm tripping. Let me see. Because I was thinking
Because
the same
I know
thing.
in season one, the only Maximals are Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Rhinox, Rat Trap. I can't remember the name of the
Oh yeah.
tiger.
If you look up Air Razor, you'll know exactly who she is. I didn't
Who-
remember until now either. This I looked up Air Razor Beast Wars. Now it's familiar.
Let me see. I hope it's not who I
I,
think it is.
I don't think she was a main character. She came randomly.
I think I remember. Yeah, I
Yeah, I do
think I
remember
remember
Air
Air
Razor.
Razor.
Yeah.
You know what one of my favorite was besides Optimus Primal? I can't. Oh, hold on. I gotta. Let me see. Let me see.
I
Let me
always
see.
like Cheetor and Rat Trap. They're always my two favorite.
Griffin Max.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no shit. Oh, God, it was like no. He was like part. He was like basically like a griffin. I can barely see this thing. Yeah, Silverbolt. That's what it was.
Okay.
Silverbolt is a Maximal from the Beast era, portion of Generation One continued family. Yeah, yeah, because he had like swords. And he was kind of like a ah he's kind of like a griffin in a way. Yeah, that was
Mm.
his name, Silverbolt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
He
Yeah.
was one of my
I got.
favorites, man.
Dude, I'm gonna go back and rewatch this shit. I
Yeah,
forgot
you
that
should
shit.
watch it tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. Last couple things. We got like two more uh breakdowns of the movie, then conclusion. So let's wrap this up. Action and human balance. For me personally, I always want more Transformers. Like the humans are cool, but like in the movies, for some reason, the humans are the forefront, rather in like the cartoon show and the animated movies, the Transformers are the forefront and the humans are the support characters. Whereas in the movies, the live action movie is kind of reversed.
Yeah, I think because the humans, as far as like they do a lot of that work as far as like helping to move the plot along, helping to move the
Yeah.
story, helping to bring out certain themes. I feel like the Autobots are pretty much in the rest of the Transformers are just used for fighting and the actions and the sequences. But the humans are actually there to tell the story of what's going
Well, that makes
on,
sense.
tell the story of what's going on during that time period, tell a story of like how life is going, what have you. And some of them are kind of like used as connection points as well. So that's the way I look at it. I mean, because the thing is, they interchange the Autobots, they interchange the Transformers. So it's like to them, it's like they could interchange them, and the story would still be the same. But if you
Yeah.
interchange the characters, like the human characters out of the movies, the plot and the story kind of like switch up.
Yeah, you could look at like even take Sam Witwicky from the first movie and
Yeah,
take Noah from this movie. Those characters are integral to the plot.
hell yeah,
So, um, yeah, man. Like I said, I always prefer more Transformers, but I understand why the humans, like you said, they push the plot. You need humans in Transformers. So, And it kind of like like you said, also it gives the story. You telling the story from a human perspective. Like in real life, it was some scenes in the movie that were actually kind of like scary because in real life, if that shit will be scary as fuck in real life. If we're being real, like when they run through the
Exactly.
museum, running for those little spider things, wherever the hell they were.
Yeah, man. But
Yeah,
just
so
think about this. It's a Transformers movie with just all Autobots, Decepticons, and just them fighting and just everybody else just doing their thing. There's no real human story in it. It kind of boring. I mean, there'd be a lot of action, but it'd be like, all right, well, how do you get to the next part of the movie?
I think on Earth it'd be boring if they did, or Cybertron is a war. I think it'd be a little different. But on Earth, obviously, you have to have humans interaction because it's
Hmm.
impossible for there to be alien robots fighting on Earth, but they didn't make any contact with any humans. That's insane.
Well, I wouldn't say like not make any contact. I'm just saying
Yeah,
they can see what's going on. Like, oh shit, there's fucking explosions and stuff
yeah,
going on. But
yeah.
there's still like an individual story connecting with the Autobots and whoever human characters at the time. So that's what helps to move the plot along.
Hmm. You ever notice like when they're fighting how much shit they destroy and like who
Man,
pays for that? What the what the hell?
who cleans up those messes?
Like out in Peru when they're fighting on the road, like in the mountains, and then Optimus transforming his foot like crushed the road. I'm like, dude, people gotta drive to this shit. Like, what the hell? Somebody probably fucked their car up. No, but yeah. So before the conclusion, the technical aspect of the movie, like I said, the soundtrack and the visual effects. Soundtrack was great. It's '90s, bro.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
Bumblebee jumped out the plane and El Cool came on, bro, that shit was fire. I was like, this is geek. But yeah, the music, '90s aesthetic was overall. I was impressed and I enjoyed it. It's something different, you know.
And I'm glad they picked New York to bring out the '90s aesthetic.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have did Cali. Yeah, they could have did it, but it would have been better to go with New York because
Hmm.
with everything that was going on, you know, it would make sense, especially bringing out that authentic hip hop, kind of like that era, like you know, wearing certain clothes, things like that. I
The
feel
fast
like,
paced lifestyle too. The fast paced lifestyle kind of
oh
helped drive the
yeah,
story because Noah was trying to get a job, trying to come up, and he couldn't. So he turned to the fast paced lifestyle. So yeah, and all the other Transformers movies took place in California, so I'm glad they changed it up a little bit.
yeah,
I think one took place in Chicago, and most of them took place in California, so I'm glad they changed it up.
nah,
So
man.
yeah, man. What you final thoughts, man? Overall impression, final thoughts, and would you recommend our listeners to go check this movie out?
If had to give it a grade, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it an A. It had a lot of action. I love the actors in it. Um, Old girl that played Elena,
Mm-hmm.
old boy that played Noah. They had my nigga Doug Stamper at the end for those who watch House of Cards. um,
Mm-hmm.
Ron Perlman, man, I love that guy, man. I love
Same.
Hellboy, everything he's ever voiced over
Mm-hmm.
it, man. He just any character he does, he just brings like a certain kind of like maturity to that character, a certain type of like essence that a lot of
Mm-hmm.
other voice actors couldn't do. Um,
Agreed.
but as far as like if I had to give it like an overall synopsis, as far as like me enjoying it, I really did like this movie. I got really geeked when Optimus told the Maximals to maximize. That was really one high point for me.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, that's what's up.
They didn't stay transformed for long though. Like,
No, no,
they
no.
transformed and they were fighting for a minute, and then next thing you know, they're back in their beast forms.
And that's another thing that real quick, I had to point out the fact that the Maximals can fight in either form, but the Autobots
Mm-hmm.
can't. You can't fight
That
it. I
is
mean, you could
true.
fight as a car, but it'd be weird. You'd just be ramming stuff, you know. Whereas, like,
Yeah,
you know, Optimus Primal, he could like square up with you as a freaking
yeah,
gorilla,
as
or he could square up with you as you know, transformed.
a
So
humanoid.
yeah,
Yeah, bro. I agree. If I a scale out of 10, I'll give it a 7. 7 out of
yeah,
10. Pretty good. I gave Bumblebee an 8 out of 10, so this is ranked a little lower than Bumblebee. But I thought it was a good movie, man. It's just, like I said, I wish it focused more on the Maximals, but I understand why they didn't. There are no like really low points for me other than some of the pacing. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I'm maybe a little biased because I'm obviously a huge fan of Beast Wars growing up, and I would recommend this everyone if you like Transformers, if you like action movies, you should absolutely go check this movie out.
It's more than meets the eye.